The case of Ben Simmons is, I guess you could say, misleading. You would think a guy who is 6'10", 240, fast as hell, would dunk a wide open ball. If you ask, no, I'm not going to show you the clip of him passing up a wide open dunk. I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing it. No, I'm not going to show you. I'm not. Alright, whatever. Let's get back to it. As much as most of us all despise Ben Simmons right now, we can't even lie. He is a generational talent. You rarely find a player of his caliber to do what he can do. Whether that's pass, play defense, the fact that he's 6'10", 240, and he's fast as lightning. It's honestly rare to find, and that's probably why he went number one over a bunch of players that you could argue that's better than him. Now, being compared to LeBron is already in itself a very high pedestal. I mean, when you're the number one overall pick and you can do things like LeBron James, people expect almost too much. And when you underperform, that's when people, I guess you could say, overreact. However, it's already technically Ben Simmons' fourth year, and it's kind of embarrassing that he doesn't want to shoot. Now, that doesn't mean he can't shoot. I mean, there's a wide margin of people who believe that he just can't shoot. He sucks at shooting. I've seen it myself in game, in person, not only in practice, but when he's aggressive, he hits mid-range jumpers more than once in a game. And yes, that is hard to believe, but when he's aggressive, he can do it. And a lot of people right now are probably thinking, how the hell did Ben Simmons get that max contract? He's making more money than Joel Embiid. How the hell is he doing that? I mean, how did he even accomplish? How did he bribe the Sixers organization to give him that much money? And I mean, if you really look at it, 2 years ago, the Sixers had an injured Joel Embiid. Tobias Harris was playing awful. Josh Richardson and Al Horford didn't. They couldn't shoot. They couldn't shoot, and they have no effective players on their bench. And you could watch the Sixers that year, and you knew that Ben Simmons, statistically, it was one of his best seasons. Even defensively, he led the league in steals for most of the season. And you could see when you watched the game that he wanted to score. He was aggressive. He was really aggressive. And the Sixers organization was probably thinking that nobody could see Ben Simmons be that good in the future. So we fire Brett Brown, get a good coach. Joel plays better. Maybe Tobias plays better. Get some shooters for Ben Simmons. Get some bench players. Draft some good players. And maybe that can unlock Ben Simmons. So let's keep him here so people don't realize how good he can actually be. And I'm just assuming that's what actually happened. And honestly, it was a good plan. I mean, I wouldn't have given up that much money to him, but it was still a good plan. And he was even shooting 2 years ago. He was. So I understand why they gave him that much money. But the real strange thing about Ben Simmons is, honestly, that he might not be strange at all. That's the thing. I think the money got to his head. I mean, he withdrew from the Olympics, which made no sense. I mean, if he's been complaining about his mental ability for years now, and I understand that athletes' mental health, although they have millions of dollars, it's still important, and I understand that their health is still important. But if you're trying to get your confidence up, and he's been complaining about his mental ability, you would think going to the Olympics and playing, lower competition, he would dominate. He would honestly dominate, and that would help him become a better player. But he didn't. And I honestly think, and I hope this is not true, and I honestly, as much as I think the 76ers should trade Ben Simmons, I do want him to play better. I'll still support him on another team. But I honestly do think that money just got to his head. I mean, you have all the physical gifts, and you don't want to do it. And that's what I think is Ben Simmons' biggest problem. Everybody complains about his shooting, but it's his will to play basketball. I mean, Kobe said that he needed a jump shot, but he also needs mentality. I mean, this year, you could definitely tell, even from the beginning of this season, that he looked like he didn't even want to play basketball. Like, you saw that regular hook shots and floater shots that he usually hits these past few seasons. He didn't hit this season, and he wasn't as aggressive. Like, he was extremely inconsistent. And yeah, I mean, yeah, he could average like 15 assists if he wanted to, and he could be that type of player. But you know, if you, like I said before, if you're 6'10", 240, fast as hell, you would think you could drop 25 points in your sleep. And I think anyone who has his physical abilities can easily drop those numbers in their sleep. All in all, I do think that we should all know that he technically has all the abilities to succeed. He can shoot. He can shoot. But honestly, me personally, I fell in love with the game of basketball because of someone like LeBron James, and seeing someone like Ben Simmons who can kind of play like him or mimic his game is so fun to watch. And honestly, I just hope he gets his mental ability right. I don't care whatever team he's on. I just really want to see him succeed just from the aspect of basketball. And I heard he has a lot of family drama with his sister, but I hope he can all get it fixed.